Hi, welcome to Peggy's Chalk and Ink live tonight. I've got a couple guests here in the audience, and I'm very excited about that. Welcome you tonight to do our transfer, which is called In This House We Do Dog Tags. And this is what it says. It says, in this house we do dog tags, we do last minute, we do real, we do mistakes, we do deployments, we do hugs, we do video chat, we do patriotic, and we do love. So how exciting is that? Kind of fun. Not so exciting, but it's fun. Okay, and we're gonna put it on a door tag. And I like the door tags because it's got the hole in the top. You can hang it on a nail, you can hang it on something fancy, you can put it outside on the porch, you can put it wherever you want. But tonight I am going to do it in red and blue, and we are going to use the blue Cadet. The Cadet's a beautiful deep patriotic blue, and then we have our candy apple red, and these are done in chalk paste. And they're done in chalk paste with a squeegee. And if your chalk is too thick, we've got distilled water to keep your chalk from being too thick. And always stir it, make it the consistency of yogurt before you start. So let's finish unwrapping the door tag. Take the corners off. So right here it's nice and smooth. The only time that you'd want to do anything to it is if you would like to rough it up around the edges a little bit and make it a little bit rustic. Today I don't feel like doing that. I just kind of like the smooth. I'm looking for it to be white to go with my red, white, and blue. Okay, so I'm going to wipe this off just a little bit, make sure that it's fairly smooth. And then before we get started, I am going to tell you about how to take care of your transfer. So on the back of your transfer, you will have the directions. The directions are always on the back of your transfer. You have a hanger on here to hang them up and hang them in your closet, hang them on your door. Believe it or not, I have so many now, I hang them wherever I can. Sometimes my hooks they break. So anyway, it's kind of fun. You just have to have everything. So anyway, if you wash your transfer off when you're finished, make sure that it's dry. You just open it back up and slide it back into your package, and I'll show you how to do that in just a few minutes. Okay, so before we get going, we have wax. You always need to wax your wood surface, and the reason why you wax your surface is because if you feel your surface and it's a little bit rough, when you put your transfer on, it will make waves or bumps or bubbles. So your wax fills all those tiny little spaces and helps it to be nice and smooth. So we get out the wax, and I have my handy little dandy waxer, and we're just going to take it, and you just want to put it all where you're going to be using your transfer. You don't have to put it on the spaces that you aren't going to be using your transfer, but you don't want to use too much, because the whole idea is not to wax it like you're buffing the car and letting it dry. That's not what you want to do, because if it's too thick and you can't get it off, it'll get stuck in the transfer, and we don't want it to get stuck in the white portion, which is your silk, because that will clog it and then your chalk won't go through. Okay, so some little mistakes. Now if you put too much wax on and you're like, oh shoot, I was talking to my friends and I wasn't paying attention and I dipped in there, and it happens. I've done it 2 or 3 times. When I first started, I put too much wax on. More is better, right? More is always better. So I just had too much and I didn't realize it. As I started to put my chalk on, I figured it out, because I had spaces where, you know, the chalk didn't work. So what I could have done, and what I should do, if you think you put too much on, you can get out your dryer, your little gizmo here. What do I do with it? It's right here. And you can take it and go over that, and that will warm that up, and you can take it and buff that out a little bit so you can take the wax off. So not all is lost when you're doing something like that, but those are just little things just to help you to do your project a little bit better. Everybody makes a mistake, so you know, it is what it is. So we're We're people. We're humans. Okay, so then always buff off your wax. And I like having people here with me. I like talking to myself too. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem talking. And so I really like it. I hope that my helper's here. My friend Diana is here, and I hope they have a couple of questions for me as we're going along, because that will help you guys too learn a few things.
I have a question.
Yes.
So that cloth you use to wipe it with, is that part of your kit?
No, you can use any
Microfiber?
You can use any. You could even use a paper towel if you want. I like a microfiber because it makes it nice and soft, and you kind of get a little bit of a shine on there. So the kit comes with most everything that you need. The kit is $99, and its value is $327. So you get to join, and then you get a whole packet of goodies. You can PM me if you'd like to know what's in it, and if you'd like to become a designer. So it's got your squeegees, it's got a couple paste packets, it's got a white, it's got some surfaces, and it's got everything you would ever need to do chalk in the first, month. No, I'm just kidding. Some people it would last longer. For me, it's only a month, okay? So anyway, I have waxed my surface. I can put that away. I can put that right out of reach. And I've got my buffing rag. I always keep my wet wipes handy because I'm always sticking my fingers in my color. And like I said, we're going to be using Candy Apple Red, and we're going to be using Cadet. Cadet is one of the prettiest blues. We do have a Christmas blue that's got some gold in it, but I figured that we didn't want to do that. So I'm going to open my transfer, and it opens down here from the bottom. And they have been putting on this little black safety tag. I guess, I'm not sure what it's for, but I guess I could have read it. This is sticky too. So this, like I was telling you earlier, it's all reusable. And this is what you're going to put it back in. This is your hanger, okay? And you just pull that out, and you set that paper aside. And these new sheets, because our transfers are see-through, so you can layer with them now. They used to be really dark, and we couldn't layer through. It was real hard to see, so we had to have a light board, and we don't have to do that now. So the paper that they're on now, both sides are shiny. But you still want to put back on the back of your sheet. So you get out your pen and you write back on there. And then that way when you go to put these little buggers back on, you know exactly which way it came off. Because some of them, when we cut them, sometimes we don't know exactly which way. They're kind of tough to put back on. So when you're first learning, it's a little harder. It gets a little obnoxious at days when you have too many cups of coffee. So, because these are really sticky. These are super sticky. Sometimes when we're starting to put these down, we tend to try to pick it with our fingernail, but you really don't need to, okay? And also, before I get going, this is a fuzzing cloth. We always use a fuzzing cloth before we put our brand new transfer on anything. Especially when it's brand new, because they're super sticky. The more you use them, the less sticky they will be, and sometimes you don't have to fuzz as you go on. Doesn't mean that the transfer isn't going to stick as well. It just means that you've used it a little bit, and so they're usable up to 12 times. Okay, so these are silkscreen. And so you can see as I'm pulling that up how thin these are now. They used to be much thicker. So, and that hasn't made them not as durable. It just means that you can see through them so when you layer your project. Excuse me. And so what I did here with my finger is I took the tip of my finger, went to the corner of my transfer, and got it with the tip of my finger. And that way you don't ruin your transfer. Then you put your fingers to the middle, and you always pull your transfer off of it just like that and straight up, okay? And then you lay it down on your sticky pad, set your paper over here, and you just fuzz that a couple of times on here. Get a little fuzz on the back. And this fuzzing cloth can be used to dry. I showed Diana earlier about how we could wash our transfer and then use it the second time earlier.
So you're wanting fuzz from that cloth on the back of that.
Yes, you are wanting fuzz on the back of the cloth so that it doesn't stick so hard
Okay.
that you can't pull it off of your.
Okay.
And the reason why you don't want to pull it hard is because these are very tender, and you will stretch your transfer, and you don't want to stretch your transfer. Okay, so I got a little fuzzy piece here. See if I can get it off. And so I can't believe it. It looks like it's straight. I don't know what you guys think. Oh, a little bit. I'm a little bit off. You can be a little bit off too. You know, you guys, you don't have to be perfect. It's all about how you feel about your project. And these door tags are kind of neat because you can just, the B-size transfers fit on them almost perfectly and still leave room at the top for a bow. Gotta have a bow. Definitely gotta have a bow. A little bit of that. Don't want any fuzz in the screen. Okay, so if there gets to be a little piece of fuzz in the screen, you can take it off. Sorry. There we go. So, looks good. So, what do you guys think? Does it look pretty straight? Look pretty straight to you?
It does to me.
Okay. So, this means that we are ready to go. So, I hardly ever push down my transfer on the corners because I want to go back when I'm done and lift a corner. Alright, so really you just have to go in here, push this down on the white, make sure there's no bubbles, and push everything out. Okay, make sure there's no bubbles. Because if there's a bubble and you take your squeegee over the top, you will get a boo-boo. Okay, so if you see before you start, you see a boo-boo, you can fix that. Okay, so there we go. Oh, I just messed that up. Sorry. Thought I had it. There we go. Okay, there we go. Alright. So, here we go. Look at that. I'm excited. I can't remember. This is my favorite part. Alright, so. Oh, I want to tell you guys about the color of the month. The color of the month this month is called Saucy, and it is just beautiful. Okay, it's kind of a barn red. It looks like barbecue sauce, maybe smidge lighter, depending on what brand you use. Anyway, it's exclusive, so if you are a club member or if you are a designer, independent designer, you can get this color. Or this is our fourth color. Once a month, we'll change it up on the first of the month. If you order $75 or more, you are able to order the exclusive color. And I'm telling you, it's pretty exciting. I have loved every single color that's been out. I don't have the other two out, but I think I have Duchess right here. Duchess was one of the last ones that we had with a little bit of shimmer. And I know the cameras never show the shimmer. You know, it's kind of a bummer because I love glitter. But anyway, so if you'd like to have a little bit of some monthly fun, it's always fun to have the new exclusive color to you. So we're going to start, and I'm going to do somewhat of a hot mess. Hot mess means I'm going to use two different colors on this particular one, and I'm going to blend them together a little bit, maybe a little bit of a hot mess and a little ombre kind of going on at the same time. Okay, so I am going to start with that right now, and this is how we are going to do it.
So what is ombre? Is it a style?
Ombre is when you put a color on and you bleed the next color into it. It
Okay.
just kind of comes down. We do hair that way too. The hair with the girl has lighter hair at the bottom and you take it up to dark. That's an ombre up to the roots. Okay. So this is really fun. This is very, I don't know, just makes you feel like you're having a blast. So we just put a little bit on here. My friend Marie, she loves to do this. She has fun. It's like, you know, doing color coding. You just put your chalk on and just kind of in the places that you want to have it. And I didn't Grab another tool. Here's our stir sticks. These are our stir sticks. Now you guys, before I started, I did stir my chalk, so I was ready with my chalk. So it is the consistency of yogurt, and you do want to make sure that your chalk is not too dry. If you start with your chalk too dry, then you are totally going to have a dry problem. Okay, it won't go through the screen. It'll dry too fast, and then you'll have a kind of a little bit of a mess. Okay. So then I'm going to take my squeegee, my larger squeegee. Are you guys ready? And we're going to just take that and we're just going to go down like so. And if I don't have enough, I can dip back in. And so I'm going to have a little bit as I'm going along. Okay? And I'm going to add just a little bit more because we have a big space. This is a very big space. We're just going to go through like so. I'm just going to come down a little bit and get right in there. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to wipe it off. And I am kind of wasting it just a little bit. But I don't want to have too much of it running together. So I'm just going to take that and go like so. And I'm just going to come back over that and go right into that red. And a little bit of blue. And you can see it's kind of fun. So I'm just add a tiny bit more here. And just come on down. I'm just going to go through it. Just pretend like I'm crazier than I am. I'm going to wipe that off so we don't get it too purpley blue. I don't want to mishmash it so it looks ugly. You know, sometimes that can happen too, because it's like finger painting, you know, when you're a kid. And I feel like a kid when I'm doing this too. So, just so you know. So, and then we just come down and we just kind of go through there like so. And I just turn that around, come back up, and come back up. And have a little bit of fun there. And I did waste a little bit. So if you're not really into the moment of wasting it, you know, I wouldn't do it. But I just wanted you to see how fun it can be. To do something a little bit different. And then we're going to put a ribbon on the top. And then I'm going to go back over it with my squeegee, and I'm just going to go down, take all the excess off. And then we're going to peel this back, and we're going to peel and reveal, okay? So this is one of the quicker ways to do it. Okay, ready? Make sure my hands, I do need to wipe them because I did make a mess. Imagine that. And I have these little wipes everywhere. I'm a fan of the dollar store. Okay, so always check your fingers first before you start. And you have waxed your paper, or your surface. Sorry, why did I say paper? Paper was on my brain. So remember I told you to pick it up from the middle. We're going to peel, and we're going to lift that straight up. Oh, you guys, that is so freaking cool. What do you think? Isn't that fun?
I can't imagine it looked that great. It just was such a mess.
And so there we go.
Cool.
And look it. I did get a boo-boo right there. I really did. And I did get a little bit on the sides, but because we waxed, we can go in, and this is my favorite. I get to show you how to clean that up. So you just go down the side here, and you take your wipe, and you just wipe that up. And if it doesn't come off with a wipe, I have my wash. Juliet, can I use the scrubber thing? Can you bring me the board erase? These aren't my favorite wipes. I have favorite wipes that are just a little bit better. So my board eraser that we clean up our. So there's a ripply side on one side, and you just go across the side there, and you just take that right down the side, and look at that. It just comes right off. So my wipe didn't do a very good job, and I apologize for that. I thought maybe it would, but these aren't my favorite wipes, like I said. So I just clean up my mess. Everybody makes a mess, so don't feel bad about making a mess. There are days when I make big messes, but you know, this is called kind of a hot mess. So I was granted that in there.
That's really pretty.
So then what I do is I take all my goods, because this is chalk, so it dries real fast, and you don't want your jars to dry up too fast. So when they sit out in the air, they will dry pretty fast. So you just get your lids back on, put them away, get them out of the way. And like I said, I'm serious about my wipes. I have special wipes that I like better than these, and they work better. So once you find your own jam, you know, it'll be faster. And I happened to grab these tonight.
Nice size of.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're not as thick. These are very, very thin. So look at that. I just got it all over the place. And if they were the thicker ones, a little bit thicker, I just didn't have them right out on my tray. Just a different brand is better. And I can just wipe these. I don't have to go to the sink, and I can just put them back in my handy dandy little bag here. And my handy dandy little bag comes from Chalk Couture. And I stuck my fingers in it again. I am very good at this. Anyway, so I have my scissors. When you're doing, when you're cutting one and making it smaller, the transfers are sticky. So the sticky gets on your regular scissors. Say you go to the dollar store, my favorite store. I don't have anything against it. But when you cut your transfers too often, you'll get a sticky goo on your scissors, and you can't get it off. Okay? So these are Teflon. These are ours. So they never stick. And you can also go through and cut your transfer off and then slip it right back on the paper with them. So they're nice and sharp. And also holds all my goodies in my bag. My Q-tips, my extra stir sticks, my pin for a backer. I have my washi tape with numbers on it, so when you're pasting your letters on here, you can do it exactly correct if you want to be perfect. I even have a glue stick just in case I'm somewhere where I need one, and my Chalk Couture pen. Here's one for you, Diana.
Oh, thank you.
Cool. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I've told you about most of this. I'm going to take my dryer. I'm going to dry my project here. My cord's a little small. We do have our brand new dryers with our longer cords, you guys. They have longer cords on the dryers now. And so that helps, because I never have mine in the perfect place. So one thing about your chalk, you want to get it dry before you start. If you touch it, you will mess it up. It stays wet for a little bit. Chalk dries faster than ink, and we do have ink, and that's pretty fun too. So when you look down at your project, you can look at it and see if it's dull, it's dry. When it's shiny, it's still wet. So you can kind of see it as you're going along. It doesn't take very long to dry at all. Not at all. Chalk just moves along very fast. These projects take no time. They're so fast. Especially when you do a hot mess or a little bit of a, this at the bottom is a little more of a hot mess. At the top it's a little more of an ombre because you kind of came down in it. Sometimes when I do a t-shirt with the ink, I'll ombre something because it'll look just plain. So if I just put a little bit of different color at the bottom and ombre that down, you put your own little spin on your things. So we're almost dry here. This is a really fast, kind of a fun project here. So I just kind of touch it lightly. Not quite, almost.
Does this have one setting?
No, it's got two settings on it. That's the higher one, and this is the lower one, so that I don't have to yell at you. But I wanted it to go faster because we're on a video. You guys don't want to watch paint dry. So, yes, it does have two settings, and you notice it's a little quieter. Thanks for that, because, yeah. So, yeah, we're almost dry. Almost. So if you were going to do glitter, as soon as you took off your transfer, immediately, you would have your paper ready underneath your project. You would sprinkle your glitter on the wet chalk, and you do it real thick, so that you get everything, because the chalk dries pretty fast. And then you just pat it slightly, and then let it sit for a minute, and then you pick up your project, and then you tap it on the paper. Wait for it to dry good, probably a little while. I wouldn't be wiping it off fast, but I have my brush from Chalk Couture that I use. Here's the brushes that I use, and I take my fat brush, and when I'm all done, I just lightly brush that off back onto the paper, and then I can save the excess and dump it back into my package, and then you're all glittered up. And diamond dust is my favorite, because diamond dust is clear glitter, and so it just picks up the colors that you've used on your project instead of trying to change the color. One time I did a really neat project, and I did stars, and I thought it was iridescent, but it was iridescent, but it was iridescent green. It did not match my colors. So it wasn't ugly, but it just didn't match. So you want to check that out. Before I get going and put a bow on here, I want to show you guys this is the June club, and this one says summertime and the living is easy. So for those of you that are in club, this is what the June club is going to look like, and you will be receiving yours about the middle of June, unless you place an order at the beginning of the month. If you place it at the beginning of the month, you will get your transfer early. Okay? So there's that. And so let's set this over here, and I got some really pretty, and now I'm not going to be sure what I want to use. This is terrible. Okay, so here's my ribbon. Here's my ribbon. I better put that back for a minute, so I can look at it.
So you're touching that.
It's dry. Cool. It's dry. It is super dry. You wouldn't want to go in and scrape it, or like when we do a workshop and you leave with your project or projects. Some people make 2 or 3 projects. I will put a little bit of paper towel or packing paper between them so that it can continue to dry. So the more it dries, the better it is. But yeah. So I don't know. I'm thinking that's kind of cool. I got my face in there. Sorry, guys. Let me move this over. Oh, that's kind of cool. Let's see here. This is glittery. This one's got some glitter on it. That seems like it's a little too not the right color. I think that's too glittery. I think this one's a little more subtle, a little more rustic. And I don't think that one is either. So I think this one maybe. Let's see. But I will let you choose. Yeah, that's cool. That's kind of cool. So we have that one. And I was thinking this one too.
You're going to make a bow.
Mm-hmm.
I like the first one. The red.
And usually I put 2 colors with it. Or 3 or 4. Helper, could you look in there and see if we have a red? Maybe I have a red. Maybe I could just brighten it up a little bit with a wide red, or even a little more narrow than these. So I think we've said we like this one, right?
Excuse me.
You guys, I bored Diana. She's yawning.
No, I'm sitting still. It's not good for me. Apologize. I'm sorry. I'm not bored.
Okay, we're teasing. We're never bored when we chalk, right? Maybe this one? Maybe a little bit of that. Yeah, that's kind of pretty. Let's see what that looks like. As I said, I like to bling, and I didn't put any bling anyplace else. It's just...
Well, you've got fireworks. Better than bling.
That's right.
There's some white.
Ooh. I might just pizzazz that right up, huh? Especially if it's right there on the top, and then we put that.
Small.
Small white, and we might need it. Okay, so let's do another red. And I need a little piece of something. I don't know. Maybe. I might be able to. I forgot to. Oh, that's really. Nope, there's that green color. That's the green color I was talking about. Same as the glitter, you guys. It's got a green tint to it. See that? That's how my glitter was. That's exactly how it was. Yes. No, that's too fat. That's too fat. Okay. So probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. It's a little bit bigger than that. I don't know. Do I want a star in there? I feel like it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Silver might be okay. Might be a little. Maybe we'll go like that.
Nice.
This one seems kind of looking something together. I know it's kind of wide. You guys are going, what? What? So, usually what I do is I just take and wad that just a little bit in the middle. And these are big. Oh, you know, I had to do this. Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, I could maybe use a little bit of that. I'm going to dovetail these before I start. I almost forgot, okay? So, I want to do that before we start. A little dovetail, okay? If you don't like dovetail, you can make them go in a different way. This always just kind of gives it a little bit of a cute little doohickey on the end. See? And sometimes two works better than 3 or 4. How do I know that? Because I made a mess before. Yes. So here we go. This is so fun to have visitors. I love it. And got one left over. Maybe I should do. Oh, we'll see. I talk to myself too, you know.
So you're human.
I like it. I always get the right answer. All right, so here we go. Now I'm going to move my paper, or my, excuse me, I keep calling my project my paper. Oh, that's kind of cool if that was something else. I think I'll take a piece of that. I might need that. Let's put this over here.
Get on?
No, that's too cream colored. All right, so what I do is I put the first one down that I like the most. So I made my red because I think I wanted the red on the bottom, okay? And then I want to take that and just place that a little bit crooked in there. And then I think, do I want, I don't know, maybe the stars will look good on the bottom. See, I hate this part.
You spend a lot
Terrible,
of time
isn't it? Yes, yeah. You can. It's so fun because when you get all done, it's worth it. I think that might be good. I like to see a little bit of that. So then let's bring that piece that way a little bit.
Yeah, I like it that direction better.
Now, what we're going to do here now is we are going to, if I can get that just so, and scrunch that together.
You certainly wouldn't want to do that on top of your project.
No, that's totally why I moved it.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes you need another hand. But I think I got wires here, so I might be able to do it.
Not everybody has those choices of ribbons. It's really pretty.
And, you know, I'm kind of a freak about the ribbons. I know. I go to the store. Where's the ribbon? Where's the ribbon aisle? So, yes, you get used to it. After a while, you get projects in your head. When you're a designer, you sometimes get the projects before others, so that we can come out and share with you. And what we call you are the hobbyists, and that way you guys get to see them, and you get to see what you might want to have or do before, and then you don't have to purchase the whole darn pot, you know. So I like to push these around a little bit before I bring my project back over and separate them so we can see the colors. See if I want to cut one a little bit shorter, and I probably want to bring that one down a little bit up. And so you kind of don't see the stars too much until we get on the page, on the project. A page on the brain, I'm sorry. And so I think I'm going to cut off the wire now. Don't need that. The wire's pretty though. Okay, so let's bring back the project. Not the page, the project. Notice I did that right this time. Alright. So we want to get that right above where you're going to hang it. And oh, that looks awesome. Yeah. So guys, I think I'm going to cut this just a little bit right here. Just a little. Got to trim it. Got to give it a haircut. The red's a little overpowering. Oops, a little overpowering there. And there we go. That's going to show the stars. Good. And then over here, you might. Oh, I chopped it. Let me fix it. It's slippery. Sometimes when you do them together, it actually holds them. And let's take. I'm going to make that one just a tiny bit shorter. I think I'll do that with this one too. Then the stars will show just a little bit better. I think I didn't really want the stars at first, but now that they're there, they're kind of cute. Alright. So let's bring those around so they show. Twist them and turn them just a little tiny bit. Bring that around and bring it up. And bend it and push it and squish it. Push it around. And voila. What do you think, you guys?
I like it.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
It's going to be great for Veterans Day. And
so, should we glue this puppy on?
Yes.
Okay, let's glue this puppy on.
Got already heated up?
Yeah, thanks for reminding me, my helper. Yes, that's totally true. Yep. I don't know if I got a glue thingy in there, glue stick in there. And you guys, you can reuse this. So if you don't want to keep it, for the following year, or you want to make a new one, you can take this and wash off your design.
How do you wash it off?
You put it under water. We have a little scraper that you can use, and you scrape it off, and you take your scrubber, just like you watched me fix my boo-boo, and it'll take it off. If every bit of it doesn't come off, you can sand it, or you can use your chalk paste to paint it and redo your board again. Most of the time, unless it's red or black, you're gonna do good. You'll have it come off. So that looks pretty good. So then what I do is I let that dry just a little bit, so I can fluff these up a little bit more and bring it in. So, because you don't want to pull your and fill in.
Memorial Day weekend is later this month.
Pardon?
Memorial Day weekend is later this month.
Yes, and Flag Day
Oh yeah.
in June. And you guys, the more you mess with these bows, the more you can just get everything you want. I have some little beads too that you could even put in the middle. And so let me show.
Oh wow. That's
And then-
gorgeous.
Isn't that just beautiful?
It is.
Oops, I just touched it. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think?
I think it's
And
gorgeous.
see how easy that was? I mean, you know, when you're doing it at home, you can go as fast or as slow. This is a pretty, actually, I kind of made it work a little bit slower than normal, but when I'm by myself, I talk to myself, and I'm so happy that Diana came, and my helper Jules is here, and how fun to talk to people while I'm working. I like it a lot. Thank you for all the help. All the questions were phenomenal, and we learned how to do a little inking, a little bit of chalking, and anyway, so visit my website at the bottom. If you'd like to purchase, you can become a member, you can become an independent designer, or you can just order what you'd like. In the comments description box there, it tells you exactly what I used. You can go into, except for the ribbon, you guys have to buy your own ribbon, okay? And that's not too hard to do. It's kind of fun to ribbon shop. But you can go into the description and you can click on the link, and when you click on the link, you can take out of the cart whatever you don't want, or you can go into the site and add to your cart if there's something else you want to get. So everything that I used tonight is in there. The door tag, the colors that we used, and of course, like I said, the ribbon, you know. So anyway, thank you guys very much, and we will see you next time.
Cool. Very cool.